Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Hope you are all well. We are back and we're here for the England versus USA World Cup preview as we head on into the second match of our group stage campaign. I hope you are all well in the chat. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you are new. The place to be for all of your World Cup content is right here, bringing you watch-alongs, previews and all the coverage for the England games. Joined by a couple of guests tonight. Firstly, Sean, how are you?
Evening, yeah, I'm all good, mate, all good.
Good stuff, good stuff. And David Moyes is joining us all the way over. We're currently watching Lucas Paqueta playing a free role. It's half-time. He's just sinking in. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah.
Evening, mate.
Yeah, you right, Sean?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good, man.
Right then, we'll start then. So England versus USA, obviously a good win on Monday against Iran. Gave us 3 points and topped the group. So a good start to the campaign. How can you see this one going, Sean?
How will this one go? I think obviously going to be a tougher game. I think USA, I know they reminded me a little bit of these playing the Premier League. I know they've both got the Americans, two Americans on the side. They'll be very busy midfield. Our midfielders will not get the luxury of the time they had on the ball against Iran. That's a definite. I still think we'll win the group with 9 points. So I'd have to stick that we'll beat them, but it'll be a lot tougher. I don't think they're brimming with quality, the USA, but they're athletes more than anything. They will run. They'll keep going. They'll pass the ball nice, but yeah, we should have enough, I think.
Yeah, let's hope so. Mike, just watching them on the other night against Wales. They've shown some glimpses of playing well. They have got some pretty good players there, but I think they are a side again that we should be beating in this group and picking up 9 points in the group, I think.
Yeah, I think we got enough to beat these, to be totally honest. But again, you can't take it lightly. It's, against Wales, they was good for one half, weren't they, and pretty poor in the second. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think their defence is pretty slow. There's not a lot of pace in the back four, other than the fullback plays for Fulham. He is motorised, but the two centre halves are not that quick. I think they're there for. We got to get at them. We got to go and get 6 points on the board, and then, then we know we've qualified for sure. Then.
Yeah, 100%. Let's take some of your comments. James, firstly, question on where's the Brazil-Serbia watch line? I was just having a night off tonight. I haven't actually had a chance to watch it, but I've seen little bits on Twitter that Paqueta's done okay. But well, we are saving all the puns for tomorrow. You've just ruined my question too. Well, there we go. Everybody talking about that game. Mitrovic is such a beast. Imagine him and Antonio running at a back four. We could have gotten 2 years back. I think we were linked with him, and there was something there. But yeah, it's what it is, isn't it? That's. I mean, Sean, have you been called worse, Stuart?
Stuart. Yeah, I've watched a bit of the first half of the Brazil-Serbia game. Serbia looked like a team of Mitrovic's, if that makes sense. You wouldn't want, like a team of squaddies, I'd call them. And they're giving Brazil, they're giving them a tough game. Brazil haven't really clicked. I think Brazil, I followed Brazil quite a bit, how to get on and over there. They got about 3 or 4 different formations they can switch through. So don't be surprised if you see Neymar drift up front, an extra man in midfield disappear. Do you know what I mean? Be something like that. But yeah, Serbia are making it tough, to be honest. So not the prettiest game so far. That Vinicius Junior is a bit greedy. He's quick, but he's a bit greedy. Rapid, yeah, he's quick, but hasn't quite happened yet. It's not the prettiest of games.
There we go. That's our reporter tuning in on the Brazil versus Serbia game. We have hyped up Bellingham so much after playing a poor side. USA won't let us dominate the midfield for sure. Mike, can you see it going that way? Almost, it was more on the training game side of things against Iran. USA are going to have that bit more quality, I think.
Yeah, they'll be better in Iran, that's for sure. Yeah, Bellingham, I thought, he had a good game, but I think everyone had a good game, to be totally honest. I think everyone did what they had to do. I mean, we'll have to step up a little bit against USA. They'll have a little bit more nice. They're going to try and make it hard for us, like they should. But I think he'll pick near enough the same team again. I don't see him going far from that team, and they should be good enough to beat them.
Yeah. I'm not going to get the whole squad lineup thing up again, but Sean, that was a malarkey, wasn't it? Sean, can you see there being many changes, or do you sort of agree with Mike? Because we've got a 26-man squad. Do you think Southgate will use it in this group play?
I think I read journalists said that it come from the camp that he was going to rotate more than ever in this group. Whether it happens, you just don't know. Mandy's coming out Bellingham. I don't think he's been overhyped because he's been breaking records in the Champions League for his age this season. He's got quality most times he's played for England. This is just the next stage of progression, him starting to run midfield. It's not. Don't think we're overhyping him. I think he's going to have the pick of every club in the world very soon. I don't know. I don't know if he'll make changes. I still think he's going to go back to a back three at some point. I just don't see him going all the way through with a back four. No. Whether he saved that for the knockout stages now, I don't know. I'm just not sure. Will he make changes? He might make one or two. I don't think it'll be many more than that.
Fair enough. I mean, in terms of that sort of back three or back four that Southgate may try and put out, Mike. I think now we might see, because at times we got exposed at the back against Iran, and Southgate isn't going to go too many more games with just that, one sitting midfielder and just the two centre halves. It's just not going to work, I'm afraid.
No, not on every game, mate. It's horses for courses, and I thought we'd go with a back three in the first game.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all did, didn't we? But against Iran, I suppose, yeah, you can go with a back four. As the games start getting a bit tougher, I think he'll resort back to a back three with the two wing backs. I think he's probably waiting for Kyle Walker to be fit to get a bit more pace in the back three. Yeah, I don't know. I think he can swap it. He can change it. Not a problem. All those players, they should be able to, go from that back four to a back three to a back five or whatever you want to call it. They should be able to swap even in a game without too much of a problem.
Yeah, almost with the results that we've seen over the last few days, that win against Iran does look very, very good, John. Of course, the teams that have lost. Do you think that again we might, there's a chance that we might see a shock tomorrow, or do you think that it's obviously it's crucial, but can you see any chance of a potential shock tomorrow?
Was that one for me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Been a strange World Cup so far because we've seen a few drubbins. And then we've seen about 6-7 really dull games. I think it's been like 4 or 5 0-0s, is there? Yeah. Luckily, I've been at work for half of them. But,
I know. All like 10-1s have been 3. Have been 0-0.
The second group, we're into the second group games now. It should start to warm up a little bit. I'm not surprised. A few teams that poor, like Belgium, they won yesterday, but they were poor.
They were awful,
Germany couldn't break down Japan and lost. One of the big Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. Second group games, you'd expect it to warm up a bit. I think we'll beat them. I don't see an upset. I think wouldn't surprise me if we concede again. But I think it's strange with a group game. With the other group game, Wales USA being a draw, Southgate, depending on how that game went, would probably depend how he approaches our second game. Because obviously Kane had a little knock, Scan's fine. He might have rested him, but he might just play him and think, if we win, then I can rest him in the last group game.
Yeah.
So he's got to decide what to do there, really. Like Mike said about Walker coming in, I think I've already declared himself fit to play. If I was going to have a hunch, I think he'd probably go for a back four again tomorrow and start Kane. That's what I think, and try and go like for like. Kane hasn't got a charge around that much. He can sort of drop in the holes, can't he? So, but yeah, I don't see an upset happening tomorrow, not really.
Yeah. Overall with it, Mike, where do you think the USA will try and sort of expose us? Because there are some vulnerable holes in this side that Iran didn't really get into the other night or the other afternoon. But there are some holes there, and hopefully over the last few few days and weeks, they've been patched up, and we could just get through this group stage, and then I think then we'll go to a back five and just look that little bit more stable at the back.
Yeah, I think we all said it, didn't we? We were all a little bit worried about our defence or how we set up defensively, not particularly our defence. I mean, we were all a little bit worried that we might get caught out, and we did. I mean, let's face it, the penalty was just poor. You know, we conceded one in my mind, because that was never a penalty. That not in 100 years was that a penalty. But it looks like we've been picked out for this. Southgate was saying they used us as an example on, you know, these grabbings at corners. So we got to be a little bit careful. That's the other thing that really worries me. I mean, yeah, USA, I think, cool, we can get at these. We can get them. You know, their defences, you know, get at a ball. But what really worries me more than anything is referees. It really does. It, honestly, that is the bit that worries me. It's just I've seen a few dubious decisions so far. And the VAR, yeah, well, that's a total waste of time as well, if you ask me. You know, Ronaldo bought that penalty today. You know, it just really worries me.
Yeah, and you just hope the deeper we go into this competition, the sort of less that you know, the less that this happens. And it's frustrating, but I'd rather it happens in games where 3 or 4
Yeah, I just hope we don't fall foul
for a close game.
You know, in a real, you know, in a big game. You know what I mean? And we get a penalty against us in the last minute, and we lose 1-0. You know, I just hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take some of your comments. Mandy says, let's see how Bellingham does against the better teams. I'm not sold yet. Let's scroll down. Pre-match meal. I'll tell you what about this from Robert? Pre-match meal, steak baguette with onions, mushrooms, peppers, and some chips. Okay, very much.
Don't know about a pre-match meal, mate, but do me.
Robert, come round, I'll have some. Who does Sean see as our weak links? And let's not forget how poor some of them were in the Nations League. Do you think, let me sort of reword that, do you think that America can exploit those weak links there, Sean?
I don't think America have a top-class centre-forward, so I don't. Obviously, most people would say, especially in the 2, our centre-halves are the issue. I think the likes of McKennie, I don't know if Aronson will start, Tyler Adams, the other one from Leeds. They're 3 players that are going to be nipping at our ankles in midfield. Our midfields are one of our stronger areas, but that's where they're strongest. And there'll be 2 or 3 of them in there, and they will be flying in for tackles. I think McKennie, did he get booked against the other Wales? I can't remember him doing a foul. Our weak links are probably our centre halves, but if we want to get anywhere in the tournament, it's probably whether a few players are on their second or third tournament can now step up and show that little bit of experience, a little bit of bottle. They got enough experience now. The likes of Saka's the kid. He was in the Euros. He missed a penalty in the final. Even at 19-20, he should now have to take that experience of losing that final to give him more desire to go and do better in this one. And you add to that Rashford, who's had a great end to this part of the season, whatever you call it. He's come into form. He obviously is probably only just recovered from the Euro disappointment, because he was terrible for about nearly a year after that. Do you know what I mean? So, yes, these players, we can blame the defence all day long. And Mike said probably conceded one against Qatar. I was also concerned how Stones got caught out of position when Pickford tipped one over. So that we were carved open twice. Both our centre backs poor for both those 2 chances. But yeah, some of the players that even Foden, look, he's playing for Man City, winning title after title. He's only in his early 20s. He's been in the England squad 2-3 years. These players, even though they're still young, they've got enough experience to step up.
Yeah.
Kane, he's in his 3rd or 4th tournament. Rice, they've all been there a while. And then a lot of them are playing Champions League football. So you can't always blame the defence. These ones now have got to have that drive, the experience of losing in the final and a semi-final. Most of them have been there for both now. So let's see what they got. How much do they want this?
Yeah, 100%. Mike, I think Sean mentioned it the other day, sort of that Southgate didn't rotate when the game was done against Iran, and of course yellow cards might come into it deeper into the competition. Obviously, we don't want to end up with, you know, Rice picks up pointless bookings here, there, and everywhere, doesn't he? You know, just pulling somebody back, and that goes for plenty of them. So, do you think that might sort of change Southgate's view and think, well, if he's on a booking, let's just take him off? For A, we don't want to get sent off, and B, further down the line, we don't want him suspended for the semi-final or whatever. I think Southgate's got to take this all into consideration, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. You'll have to look at that. You'll have to see what goes on in the game, and he'll have to keep his eye on things. Yeah, maybe one or two of them are going to want a little bit of a rest, but we've got Monday to Friday, so it's not too bad, is it? Really, they've got a fair break in this. Obviously, Kane's fit, which is good, because I thought he had a good game and people were slagging him off, and he linked up nicely. And, you know, we were worried about how Kane's going to drop back in, and, you know, if he's going to get balls into, you know, our wide men, would that work, you know, or would they have any height to win the ball in the middle? But it worked perfectly in my mind, you know, because he put one ball in the box. Yeah, I didn't think he was that bad. I thought he did okay. But someone like him, you know, if he's struggling a little bit, take him off straight away and you know, make sure he's okay. Same if someone gets a booking, he's going to have to be a little bit sensible, use his bonds and say, right, let's drag this guy off now.
Yeah.
He used, in my mind, he used the substitutes absolutely perfectly, because we have got some real force to come off the bench. And I think we've got more than, well, I've seen nearly every team so far, not every game, but I think we got as much to come off the bench as anyone's got.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Loving the proper injury time / wasting time added on. Yeah, it's been an interesting FIFA sort of rule bringing in, which means the watch longs last a bit longer.
Yeah.
And you've got a bit more on me tomorrow night, but yeah, I tell you what, we'll have to do a bingo tomorrow, as well as the jokes for the teams. We'll do a bit of bingo before we start. How many minutes do you reckon we're gonna have added on in total? We'll have to do a bit of that. But Terry, hope you are well. James is going for a lamb, madras, lambuna, pilau, rice, and all of it. There we go. And an bread.
James, spot on, mate.
That's made Mike's day. That has superb. Anyway, let's move on to predictions. So all you lovely lot, I can go back and watch Brazil versus Serbia. Sean, firstly, prediction.
Oh, I go first this time. I think we'll win 3-1.
Very fair. Mike.
Got it totally wrong last time, didn't I? 1-0. Flipping out. How wrong can I have been? 2-1. We will win 2-1.
Very good. And see, do you like that, Sean and Mike? I let you two go first, so I've got you know, the bottom of the pile to mix things. I'm going to go for a 4-1 England win. I'm going for a 4-1. I can see some goals again, and I think we run riot at the Al Bayt Stadium tomorrow. Yeah, to be fair, we would never make the Paddington train back if we got 14 minutes added time or something.
No.
2-0 Kane Brace. England 2-0. Plenty of 2-0s coming in, so check, keep your predictions coming in. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you haven't already. Join us tomorrow night for the watch along England versus USA. There's some guests and plenty of banter, I'm sure, if you were involved in the Canada-Belgium watch along last night. Very, very good. But yeah, final thoughts then. Mike, we'll go for you first.
Yeah, I think I'll just get the 3 points, get it done again, and then the pressure's off for the last game, because I think the Wales game could be more difficult. Not that they worried me by looking at them at all, but it's just playing Wales, isn't it? They're going to up their game, you know, 150% against us if they've still got a chance to qualify. You know, if there's something on it, they're going to be in our faces, and it'd be more like a sort of Premier League game, I know. But hey, let's just get this game won tomorrow and get the 3 points. Indeed,
let's get it. A nice use of percentages, Mike. I didn't know that I was doing percentages at school at the moment. You know, you're bringing the curriculum into the World Cup preview. Sean, your final thoughts then?
I got if we win tomorrow, there's a strong chance we've already won the group. Am I correct in thinking that?
Probably.
I would have thought so after that draw.
Yeah. Wales probably beat us or beat Qatar very heavily to go above us in the last game. Yeah, so I obviously like to see us win. I don't mind us conceding goals as long as it's not shocking. So I'd just like to see us look a bit more solid. If USA score, let's hope they've just scored a brilliant goal. We don't want to look at it and think, what the hell is so and so doing? Because that's just going to be worrying going forward. And I will pick fault if it does. So yeah, a win without any really poor howlers at the back, ideally.
Yeah, hopefully. Great minds think alike. James 4-1 to England. Neymar has changed, only a single 360 roll after that foul. There we go.
Neymar's just a free kick.
Who are?
Neymar's just about to have a free kick.
Come on then, Sean, the Roving Reporter, off you go.
Well, we got a silly bloke in the Serbia shirt lying down behind the ball. That always makes me laugh. Neymar's lining it up, taking about an hour to take it. And it's been deflected over. Anti-climax.
So 2-1 England says, there we go, Mike. We've got hopefully we're going to have two very good consecutive 2 very good 90 minutes of football on a Friday night, 2 times in 2 weeks, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Very, very good. Yeah, thank you very much. We'll see you on the watch along tomorrow. I want every single one of you to be there. I'll be doing the register, so make sure you're there. James, I'm expecting you, and everybody else join us tomorrow. If you're watching the game, get us on your phone or your laptop and get it on ITV. Other tellies are available. I don't know what it's on, but get it on the box, I should say. And you're sorted. You're sorted for your Friday night. Get your curry, your boona, whatever, your Chinese, your KFC, your McDonald's. Get it all. Mike's got it all on Win Canton, so Mike just can get it all. But thank you very much for watching. Sean and Mike, thank you very much indeed.
No worries at all.
Good, right.
Nice. Come on, you guys. We'll catch you soon right here on West. I'm Unofficial. Cheers, guys. Members, match day now to tomorrow. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good day, guys.